And here we are at the top of the hexagram. We have a sixth line day, and the sixth line in gate 32 is called Tranquillity. We're on the roof of the house. We are not in the house anymore. The nature of the hexagram is going through a transformation. Consider that the tribe is essentially materialistic, even when it is being communal and social on the other side. Communalism is all about coming up with a bargain so that everybody has what they need. Tribal life is, by its very nature, material. This aspect of the tribe, moving up the instinctive stream, this is what is essential to tribal materialism. In the ability to recognize what will work, we can see what changes need to be accommodated in order that the continuity of the material success of the tribe can survive. So we don't have to be afraid of failure. The fear of failure is a theme that we all live with. It's a global theme. For 400 years, this gate has been in the global cycle, programming the background frequency that we have all been living in. This deep sense that we cannot fail, that we must have all the material resources that we need. When you get to the sixth line, there's a bit of, well, I'm not really interested in just that. There must be something else than just climbing up the corporate ladder, making our bread and butter every month, just doing our job. The sixth line is called Tranquillity. Change is inevitable, and the projection of power in the 32nd hexagram is trying to make sure that transformation can take place, that there won't be failure. It is trying to be conservative, trying to continue things. This line says, yes, okay, but everything changes. Nothing stays the same. Everything keeps on changing. And am I really supposed to control that? The sixth line isn't really about control anymore. It is need now. The lifetime learning says the need to calmly face impermanence. The exaltation, an underlying acceptance of change that may or may not lead to tranquility. The instinctive awareness to accept change and transformation. The hexagram began with the only thing that endures is change. There's nothing that will ever stop change. This is what the 32 knows best, because the 57 is the gate that leads into the 32, and so it knows mutation is always on its back. It knows that nothing is a straight line and nothing can stay the same. At the same time, it knows that it just really likes to hold on to what is familiar because it feels better. The sixth line will go through its third line phase when it's young, in the first part of its life. It will go through the lack of continuity, and it will see that there is no real continuity. The world is full of mutation and change. It's everywhere. And mutation automatically changes value. The 32-6 accepts that change is there, but it accepts the change from the roof of the house. It acknowledges change without being part of it, and so far as the exaltation is concerned, this view does not cause it any pain. It looks at all of that, and it sees that there is nothing but lack of continuity. Of course, they can be of great value when it comes to the confirmation of when to be flexible. Remember the way in which we look at the nature or the structure of the hexagram. The first line gives us the foundation of what the hexagram is, the true foundation. It's being conservative. The fifth line tells us what society wants out of it, and society wants flexibility. They're not stupid. They know that change comes. And then the sixth line stands up there and says whether or not the need to be flexible is present. And they can see that by watching the lack of continuity in the world. The detriment. Impermanence as proof of meaninglessness, with its attendant manifestations of depression, delusion, and in the extreme, self-destruction. The fear engendered when change is experienced as impermanence, and the potential for depression. Ra said that this is perhaps the most destructive of the detriments in terms of our time. One of the things that you may notice is that when you have 32s who also have either the 35 or the 36, this can become very extreme in their life. There's a deep potential for depression here. And they have to see at some point in their process that impermanence for them is simply natural, which doesn't mean they have to like it. But not liking it doesn't change it. It's likely that they will always get depressed when change comes, when they have to leave school, when they leave a relationship, when they leave their job or they move house, or when someone around them dies, whatever the change is. When we live out the truth of who we are, when we are being ourselves, living through type, strategy, and authority, we don't eliminate these experiences because they're in our genetic material. If we have these activations in our design, we are equipped to handle them. We don't have to suffer through them. What can happen over time as you decondition more, as you stick with the experiment of being yourself, you find that you are grounded in that. You're rooted in the correctness of being you. So the depression might come as a result of impermanence, and you are still you. We never fix our detriments because they are not broken. We learn to embrace their nature and remain correct within our experience of them. And then there is the possibility of something valuable coming to us out of that. It's not simply a question of enduring the depression. It's a recognition that that moment of transformation will require you to go through that stage, but it will lead to transformation nonetheless. When you get to the point where you can accept that change is inevitable, that inevitably the tribe has to transform, this is when you move into the business of responsibility. This is the next step. We are moving into the 50th gate, the gate of values. This is the recognition that change in the material plane and the potential of transformation means that there has to be a direct connection to the way in which the laws are established for us tribally. Whenever you come to the nature of the sixth line, always recognize that it is looking for the next hexagram. The whole thing for this sixth is to recognize that transition is always there. These are not the kind of people to establish a business that is going to last forever. They're quite good for a pop-up, but not for the all-enduring family business. They're here to ride the wave, so they can be the ones who establish the new values out of what the change brings. They can be visionaries. They can look ahead and say, I will not do this because I can see what's coming. What is coming is either going to frighten them or bring them a sense of tranquility. And they say, yes, I can see that change is coming. I do not want to get involved with this. I can wait to discover what my values will be in regard to what is coming. The grounding of the earth is in gate 42, line 6, called nurturing. This is a natural, instinctive nurturing of others. This is a beautiful grounding for the 32-6, which may become depressed when change happens, when they see meaninglessness in impermanence, because you can still be nurtured through that, and possibly through the nurturing, find your way to tranquility. Mercury moves into gate 44 today at 1621, the splenic gate called coming to meet, the gate of alertness. This is tribal again, and it's the same stream as the 32. It's the stream of instinct. This is the personnel manager, very alert to what is good for the tribe, putting the right person in the right job for the good of everyone concerned. The fear here is fear of the past, and the past repeating itself. And it's another memory gate. So it remembers, it is very alert to what has led to failure before and not repeating those mistakes moving forward. The moon is moving through a series of individual gates. So to begin, well, it's still in gate 24 at the moment, the individual Ajna gate of rationalization. Then it moves into gate 2 at 1802. This is in the G center. It's the gate of the receptive, the gate of higher knowing, and the seat of the magnetic monopole, our driver. The ancients referred to this as the higher self, which is ironic in a way, because the G center is not an awareness center. It's a mechanical function. It's making sure that our vehicle goes in the right direction, holds us to our correct trajectory. This is the potential to continue evolving and being part of individuality. It has the keynote of empowering. It can empower others with its own unique direction. And gate 23 at 0303 takes us up to the throat. Still in individuality, it's called assimilation, splitting apart. The purpose of individualism is to leave the door open to mutation, because you never know when mutation is going to come knocking. This gate is part of the stream of knowing that comes down from the 61 through the 24 into the 43 and ending here in the gate that expresses the stream. If an insight or an inspiration is truly of value to others, it has to be successfully communicated. This is us, done with gate 32 for this solar cycle. Tomorrow we move into gate 50. It carries the fear of responsibility. This is the fear that's associated with this gate, the gate of values. And I will see you tomorrow. I will be doing the overview as usual, and then moving into line 1. So I hope you can join me for that. I look forward to seeing you then. And until then, go gently.